Hope you can hear me. It's quite breezy up here. I'm right up on the top of the East Hill now, which I showed you, and I didn't come up on the lift. I didn't cheat. I actually walked up the stairs. There's some steps around the side. I did count them once. I think there's a couple of hundred steps. It's quite a long way up. Right behind me, I think you see the view down there, down to the seafront. I shall be walking down that way again very shortly. But right behind me is a beacon. And this is one of the beacons, I believe this is an original one, that was used to sort of warn against invaders from years ago. A sort of famous case of the Spanish Armada in the 1500s when Sir Francis Drake was supposedly playing bowls down at Plymouth, which is hundreds of miles to the west. But this is one that we used here, obviously quite a high point, and they used to use them to warn, and then one person would light the beacon, the next person who saw it would light theirs, and so it would go on like a messenger service, I suppose. And they have lit it fairly recently for sort of commemorations of VE Day, shall I say. At the end of the Second World War they did that, I think the 50th anniversary, and it gets lit every so often. I thought I'd give you a quick view from the very top of the hill here, back up on top of the East Hill. It's sort of the wall of the lift there. Come around down onto the beach, obviously, with the fishing. Over in the distance, up there is the West Hill. So this is the East Hill and that's the West Hill. You might just be able to see bits of the castle. Might be able to see the pier and that in the background as well, over towards St Leonard's, which is more my area. And down, this is the old town itself. You can see all the buildings. I shall be going down in there very, very shortly, taking you. You can see it's quite sort of higgledy-piggledy in places. Quite a sort of quaint area as well. Very popular, so there's quite a few tourists about. I suppose it's getting towards the Easter holidays and everything's opening up now, so people are starting to come back. Obviously relies on its tourism, does Hastings, to a degree. Just thought I'd do a very quick view of down onto the beach. You see all the sort of activity where I was and all the fishing huts and everything that I showed you earlier. Maybe give you a slightly better idea of what they actually look like. So over there is all the fishing boats that I showed you before. And the seagulls have been going absolutely mad now that the catchers come in. Obviously we've got quite a few sort of decent fish shops down here which sell fish obviously straight off the boat basically, so you can't get much fresher than that. Well, I did say it was quite quaint in places. This is one of the older parts of the old town itself. There's some of these buildings around here sort of 1700s or earlier than that actually. But the last little shot I showed you was a place called All Saints Street, right in the heart of the old town. This is literally just off the sort of high street here. There's loads of buildings. I'll show you a couple more in a minute. And right next to the church, right in the centre of the old town as well. I actually discovered this sort of area myself fairly recently. Didn't even know it existed myself. So there you go. Obviously this is another view of the higgledy-piggledy streets around here, some of the older buildings with the church in the background. There's loads of these sort of turn corners and there's little hills and houses all over the place, and I've discovered a few myself today already, which I didn't even know existed in little places. Really quite quiet in that around. You can see all the sort of narrow streets, from the sort of medieval type streets I suppose. Well, here we are right up on the top of the West Hill. As I said, the town is sort of built around about two hills really, the East Hill which you went to before with the lift, and the West Hill as well, which is this one. And this is the castle, all the remains of the castle. You can see bits of it go right the way around here. Obviously the castle was actually built by William of Normandy, also known as William the Conqueror, because he landed before the Battle of Hastings, which I'm sure you've heard about, 1066 and all that. He landed a place called, appropriately enough now, Norman's Bay, which is about 7-8 miles away in that direction, towards Eastbourne. And then he came along to here because there was a settlement here. As I said, there's been a settlement here since at least 800 AD. So, and he found the hills and thought this was a great place to actually put some sort of fortification up. And so he built the castle, and the castle's been here ever since. So 900 odd years, that's not bad I don't think. It's still in a reasonable state of repair, seeing as it's perched on the top of a hill with all the wind and the elements and that. But I'll just pan round here. I don't know how well you can hear this, because it is actually pretty windy up here. It's one of the worst places. Down there you might be able to see, if I go in there, you might be able to see the pier down there, down towards the seafront, and that's looking over to a place called St Leonard's, which is where I come from, where I actually live, so you can see it's not that far away. If I come back out, pan round, and this is the sort of town of Hastings. As you can see, it's quite a hilly place all the way around, and come round once again towards the sea. So here we are at the top of the hill, more or less end of the walk. I'm just going to go down back down towards the beach. I'll just give you another little shot of the castle there. As I said, I think the castle was built more or less straight after the Battle of Hastings, around about 1066 or just after. I think it was about 1068 when it was finished. Well, that just about wraps up this latest scenic walk. Hope you enjoyed the little stroll around the old part of Hastings. Obviously there are more parts of the town and the surrounding areas, and I may well take you around those as we go along, maybe in another walk. I'll certainly go up to the battlefield up at Battle, where the Battle of Hastings was fought, and tell you a bit more about that at some time in the future. But I hope you've enjoyed this walk. I say it's only a short one, slightly different to the ones that we've done before, but hopefully there'll be some more in the future. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.